all good things must come to an end. And so it is with the promised Neverland. The 12th and final episode of the season was released today, and so many emotions are going through my mind right now that I'm experiencing because it was so great the way that they close this out, because it closes and it ends. It's a very good ending. Like if this was the story and that was it, this would be a great ending. Granted, like people were like, oh, what would happen afterwards? Like there's always that discussion or that argument that we want to see what eventually happens to them, or what happens after this. But it was just such a great ending. And to make today even better is that it was announced that there is a season 2 that's going to be coming out next year. So I'm way excited. But enough about talking about that. Let's actually get into the review of the episode. I'm going to go really fast on the first part because it's the second half that was done so beautifully. So to recap the first half of the episode real quickly, we see them all trying to escape. They're escaping at this point. They're climbing over the wall, and we get a flashback here where Dawn, Gilda, and Emma are talking about what are they gonna do with the kids. Like, and Gilda brings up a point. Well, that she says we bring these little kids, like they're gonna die. Like we're not gonna be able to save them. And Emma's like, I want to save them all. And then she starts thinking like, well, what, they might not even believe us about the whole demon things. And here comes Phil, and like we've seen all throughout this season, Phil has always been there. Like, for whatever he's always been involved, and so it's only right that they want to tell Phil what's happening. And so they go ahead and they tell Phil what is going on, and he takes it. He's like, I understand now, and he realizes what Sister Corona was talking about, harvesting. And he has such this pain look when he realizes that Norman has been harvested, that Connie has been harvested, and it pains you to see him like that. I don't know anyone who would take that information like well. But he's not sad for too long because they tell him the plan of what they're gonna do to escape, and they say, realistically, like the earliest someone could be shipped out would be 1.5 years because of the age and because they want the quality of the meat to be good. So they ask Phil, like, are you okay to wait? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay to wait. Just like that. He's just smiling. Yeah, I'm okay to wait. So this is where Ray realizes that they're gonna leave the kids there, but Emma's like, no, but we're gonna come back for them. All right, we're gonna come back for them one day. Then we come back to Mama, who sees Phil and sees the other kids, and then starts running after them. And she has that little portable communicator device, and she informs the demons that there's been an escape. And so you see these tons of these demons just ready, and they sound the alarm and like go to the bridge, and they say kill anyone who's not the top 2 high quality meat. If anything, just save their brains. That's all. And so this is going on, and so Ray's like, what are we gonna do? They got to us sooner than expected. We're not gonna be able to cross the bridge. And that's where Emma's like, haha, you fool, Ray. We're gonna cross here. And she shows this point that's probably looks like the closest to the actual wall. It looks like a point of on the other side. And then you see Dawn. This was the coolest scene. So Dawn doesn't get too much love or didn't get a lot of screen time to show that he's like really an asset to the team. And in this one, you see him have the little rock that's tied to one end of the rope and throws it all the way to the side and manages to snatch a branch, and then he's the first one to use his little coat hanger and slide down. This was a cool thing. I love that Dawn got this moment to shine. It was really good, and I'm glad that they gave that to Dawn, even though it was just a little bit. The other part that happens is, Ray's finally looking at this, and he's amazed. And then we have another scene where we have Norman back in the picture, and basically telling Ray not to give up. And Ray takes this to heart, and so anyway, so he's like, he's at peace. He's glad that everyone was able to be well trained, and so they all are escaping, and the last one is Emma, obviously. And Mama, right before Emma's about to get on the rope with the coat hanger and zip down, Mama is right there. And so this was an interesting scene because they're just looking at him, and Mama's like, "Don't go, like my beloved children." And then you cut to Emma, and I love the way her expression is in this scene. Like you're looking at it on the screen, like as she's saying goodbye, she says goodbye to a lot of things. So she says goodbye to the house and goodbye to the home that they loved so much. Like even though they're cattle, she still views that place as something precious to her. And you see like the doll of Connie's doll like burning up as she's talking about this. And then it cuts to Emma again, and she goes and she says, "Bye, Mama," and then just zips down. And then so that's all the first half. Now the second half of the probably last 6-7 minutes is the part that actually does a lot of stuff to unfold in just these few minutes, because we get a background of Mama, and it's sad. So well, first things first. So as Emma finally gets down, they cut the ropes and they're just dangling there. And as that happens, Mama undoes her bun and lets her hair go free. And I think there's a lot of symbolism in this, because first of all, the ropes were tight and they were tied to one end, and now they're flowing free in the wind. Symbolizes that these kids are no longer part of this harvest anymore. And Mama releasing her bun symbolizes the same thing, that they're free. And also, I believe it symbolizes a big weight being lifted off her shoulders. And this is where we get the reason as to why I believe that. So we get a flashback. We see this kid playing this, I don't think it's a mandolin, I don't know exactly what it is. But if you hear the song, it's the exact song that you always hear Mama sing when they're doing a lullaby, anything like that. You hear this song and you see Mama drop down, Isabella, talk to this kid, and we find out his name's Leslie. And this person had to have been very, very precious to Isabella, because that song, she loves that melody. And then you see all these little scenes, like 3 minutes of her life, and you see her expression of when he is, quote unquote, adopted and leaving the house. Which pains, and I don't know if it's love or if it's just a deep friendship. Like again, they're like 11, 12 years old, so I don't think they dove much into that. But either way, he filled up a lot of her heart, and when he left, she wanted to escape. And so you see a flashback again of when she was on top of the wall, and then the mom over there at the time, which I believe is grandma now, has signals her to come back. And as she signals her to come back, then we get this montage of her, accepting to be a mama, or to be training to become a mama. And then there's this particular scene that blows my mind. Well, we've heard about it, but we never seen it. So we see Mama pregnant, and she's singing that same melody to her baby. Now, what's interesting and what's never explained in the series as of right now, even in the manga, is how this happens. If they're like artificially inseminated, if they have males who they keep to impregnate these women. Like nothing's ever explained to this. We just see her that she's pregnant, and I think they do this to get them to actually care for the kids and to treat them with love. Because that's what they want. They want these kids to feel loved up until the very end, because that's good for their brains and good for their development. They realize that they don't want them to harvest them or to raise them up in fear. So anyway, you see her become Mama, and then this is where you get the kicker. This is where it's really good. So you see Mama, and she is walking near one of the walls, probably reminiscing about her time, and she hears her melody being hummed, and she's walking over, and she has this pained look on her face. She is in shock. And who do you see humming it? That's right, it's Ray. So Ray is Mama's son, and this kills her. Because you see Ray, and he's all smiling, and she says, "Where did you learn that melody?" And she's putting her hands over her belly, and she just knows. She knows that this is her son. And then Ray asks a question that ultimately I think kills her spirit, but kind of gives her resolve to just let go of everything and not really care, or to not let it affect her. Where he asks, why did you give birth to me? And she says, because, Ray. He's like, I had to survive. It was for survival. And she says she wanted to survive longer than anyone. That was her goal to become Mama. And as we cut to that, as we hear those final words, we cut back to Mama, where she says, I think I've had enough. And she says, I lost. And here is where I really think she does love her children. And I think she really, really does love Ray. And she admits her defeat, and you see her waving, and you see her saying, take care. I hope you find that light. And then you see her go back to the children, but she looks like at peace. That's what it looks like on her face, and we don't know what's gonna happen to her, because under her watch, all these kids escaped, and so what's gonna happen to her? She most likely will die, like Sister Crone. How she died, Mama will probably die the same way, because she was not able to keep the top grade meat that they wanted for the Tafari. I think that was called. But we don't know. We just see her go back to the rest of the little kids and kind of rest with them. So we don't know what her fate is. And the finale, the last scene of this, was probably the best thing, and I was hoping that it would end this way, and it was awesome. You see these kids just running through the forest, and Emma's like, we did it, and it's all dark, and all of a sudden they stop at a little break in the forest, and you see the sun come up, and she says, this is our first sunset, free. And that's how it ends. Oh, it was so good. I honestly didn't think that they would be able to make it as impactful as they did, because the way that it ended the last episode, I was like, what are they gonna do for 21 minutes? Like, this next part should only take 5-10 minutes to finish. And I'm glad that they put in Mama's backstory in there and filled the time, because honestly it helps us understand why Mama is the way that she is, why she's become cold, why she is doing all this stuff. It's because that's the only way that she thinks that they can survive. She didn't think that she could survive, or that because her only friend, I believe, or the closest friend died, there's no reason for her to do anything except to survive for herself and for her friend. And even though this obviously doesn't it doesn't clean her hands. She still killed tons of kids doing what she did. However, it just gives us an understanding of her character, and honestly, if she does survive somehow, if she's still Mama at the end of all of this, and if we ever see that happen, I could see Emma wanting to rescue her. The reason being is because she even said, a few episodes ago, that what if happened if we found someone who's traitors? She's like, I still want to take them with us. And the reason she says at that point is because she says the promises of these demons, we don't know if they're their keep. And so granted, Mama's is very different. She's the reason for Connie's and Sister Crone's death and Norman's death, but she would still want to save her. So I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. I honestly think that she's gonna die, based on what we know about the demons. But again, we're gonna have to wait till next season if they show that. Again, in the manga, they did a lot further, and if you don't want to read the manga and just watch it, you're gonna have to wait till next year. But the development's gonna happen next. I believe you're gonna see a shift in tone, a shift in what's gonna happen, because this manga is, I believe, it's technically a shonen, and if you read past this arc, you'll see why it's a shonen. It's still very good. It might not be as suspenseful as this first season was, but it's still going to be great. Like I said, they're going to shift the tone a little bit. But if you want to read it, go ahead. I believe it's on Shonen Jump, the app, which is $3 a month if you want to go get that. But overall, I love this. I love this series. This was a great watch. I honestly didn't think that it'd be. To me, it's a better adaptation of the source material. That's my personal opinion. They may have changed or taken out a few things here that are, I think they're iconic parts in manga panels, but it didn't detriment the story. So I highly recommend that you watch this. This is actually one of the ones that I don't mind that they never dub, because I believe the voice acting was spot on. If Funimation does decide to dub it, I hope that they do an extensive search to find just the right people to be these characters, because they did a fantastic job, and they expect nothing less than perfection. So overall rating of this, it's a 9.5 out of 10. It's just amazing. Please go watch it. Share it with everyone. This could also be one of those animes that's like a gateway anime to other ones, because this was just done so well. It has such suspense. Has different animation styles that just work to create the environment of suspense, and just overall amazing. So this is a longer review than normal, but this finale deserves it. So thanks so much for listening. Please like and subscribe to the video, and subscribe to the channel. This is David the Smash Fan, and I'm out.